Hello. So I'm Grisel Reyes from GRB Aesthetics, and I am here today to talk to you about powdered brows. And you probably have clicked my page because you saw that I have a promotion going on for $50 off, and that will get you a first session for $250. That's a pretty good deal, right? But why haven't you booked? And I'm probably guessing is because you just don't know who I am. And you don't want just anybody to be doing your tattoo. So I am here to give you some information so that way you maybe feel a little bit more comfortable with making that decision, whether or not you want powdered brows or whether or not you don't, or if I'm the reason you don't want to work with me or not. So one of the things that I really want to get into it is what is powdered brow. So powdered brows are different than what you are probably used to, which are microblading. Okay, microblading is hair strokes and it's done with a blade. Powdered brows is different because it's done with pixels and it's done with a machine gun and a needle, just one needle. Okay, now why would you choose one or the other? So microblading does have a natural look because it has hair strokes, okay? But a lot of people that have oily skin have found that microblading does fade a lot faster and might not implant. It also does cause a little bit more trauma to the skin than powder brows because of it slicing the skin as opposed to just putting little dots of needles, the needles with pigment into your skin, okay? And also because the skin is sliced, it's a little bit harder for it to heal shut as opposed to putting a needle and it automatically closing and that pigment staying in, and that's why it would shed faster than powder brows. Okay, both things are semi-permanent, right? We do say permanent brows, but really they only last about 2 to 3 years, and that's just because it's on the layer of skin that sheds. It's not like a regular tattoo, which is in the dermis layer of the skin, which is beneath the layer that sheds, and that's why that stays in there. And you don't really want to have a brow tattoo that is 100% permanent because, as you know, tattoos fade, they change color, and you want to give that chance for it to shed off, so that if you do get a touch up later on to make the color better, you won't have so much saturation and not be able to put pigment on top of it later on. Of course, even though it's semi-permanent, it is kind of always going to be there. You're going to see like a very light shadow, but almost not noticeable once it fades completely. Okay, now powder brows is not hair strokes. Okay, it's the pixeling. There's different ways to go about it. I go about it as your preference. Usually it's from the inner of where the brow starts to the end. So it's from light to dark, okay? And saturation all depends on your preference. You can go really natural and get a soft powder brow, which is more of like if you took like light eyeshadow and did it. Or you can go a little bit darker and color it in more, almost like a makeup, but it'll never really look like makeup. This will always fade and be lighter than the first initial session. So those pictures that you see online are usually the first session and they're the darkest, but they are always going to fade. They're never gonna look like caked on makeup. Okay, that is not the point of it. It's supposed to give you a more natural look, like it's your own coloration of hair in there, okay? To enhance your beauty, not to make it stand out and like punch someone in the face pretty much with your brows. Okay, the other thing is time. Okay, it does take about 3 hours. I could get it done in 2, but I like to give an hour to give you a chance to tell me how you want your brows done, if there's anything you want to fix, because at the end of the day, until you approve your brow shape, your brow design, you looking in the mirror, because at the end of the day, it's what you like, not what I like, I do not tattoo them. Okay, so I'm not gonna just put a trend brow on you if you don't like trend brows, right? It's really what you like, and I do try to follow your natural hair because at the end of the day, you don't wanna have to add more work and have to shave off brows just because of how I did your tattoo. So the other 2 hours is just the application. You can go from fully saturated or lighter. Me personally, you can have people that don't need a touch up, but industry standard is you're supposed to have 2 sessions. The first session is to get it in there, implant it, put the color, see how it heals, because everybody's skin is different. Mature skin tends to take the pigment more. Oily skin, maybe it'll be lighter. You might have patchiness, and there's nothing I can do about it, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't know your skin until it heals. So when you come for the second session, which is 150 usually, then I can then look at it, make those adjustments, and then you should be good. I give a guarantee of saturation. So let's say, for example, during your second session, and once that heals, you still feel like you want it darker, that it's not the saturation you want, you can always come back to me and get that touch up again within that 4 to 6 week mark. After that, then at that point, natural fading will happen, just like natural. And like a regular tattoo, your tattoo will last based on how you take care of it. Okay, so if you make sure that you're putting sunscreen, you're not always sunbathing, just like anything that would damage your skin would damage a tattoo or a regular tattoo or a semi-permanent tattoo. So your aftercare will really, truly be a factor in how well you retain your semi-permanent brows. So then the other thing is the different kinds. So the powder brow is more of that ombre, what I call ombre, but you can get combo brow, which is hair strokes in the front and then shaded at the end. And then there is all nano hair strokes, which is all done by hair strokes. But again, I only use a tattoo gun, so it's still powdered lines as opposed to slicing lines. And again, I just think that that's good for the skin. Some other things are just the different types of pigments. There is always a possibility that you can be allergic to the pigment. If you're somebody who is highly sensitive to a lot of things, then maybe you might want to be on the cautious side. We can skin test it, but again, it's not the same as it being in the skin. So I would just use your better judgment on that. If you are somebody that keloids, you could keloid. I have not experienced that, but again, I have to tell you that that's a possibility. So if you've had a tattoo and you keloid on your tattoo, chances are that that could happen with a semi-permanent tattoo, and I would probably stay away at that point. This type of procedure, I call it, right, a semi-permanent tattoo, is really good if you're somebody who likes to stain and tint your brows regularly. You'll actually long-term will save money. Because what tinting, depending on where you go, can range from like $35 to like $50, $60. Each time, only lasting about 2 weeks. Getting your semi-permanent brows could actually be a way better option, so that you don't have to keep doing your brows, waking up and putting makeup on takes time. Worrying about if someone smears it, or if you're sweating and your makeup is dripping. In the summer, you're gonna be on point, because you're gonna come out of the water, wipe your brows, and your brows are still gonna be there. So it's definitely a great option if that's something that you want. If you do have any questions, please feel free to send me an email, text me, hit me on social. I am always happy to answer any of your questions. But again, I am Grisel Reyes, and I will be the one currently doing your tattoos. So I hope this was good information for you. Okay, bye.